High on the green hills of Bethlehem lived a young shepherd boy named David. He loved his sheep more than anything, and he cared for them every single day. Each morning, when the sun peeked over the hills, David woke with a smile. He stretched his arms, picked up his shepherd's staff, and hummed a happy tune. David's songs were gentle and full of joy. He sang about the beauty of the world, and how God made everything good. "Come on, Sheppy," David called to his favorite lamb. Sheppy bleated cheerfully and ran beside him, hopping through the tall grass. Up in a nearby olive tree sat Ollie the owl, blinking wisely. "Good morning, young shepherd," hooted Ollie. "Keep an eye on your flock today." David smiled. "Don't worry, Ollie. God is with me, and he helps me watch over them." He looked proudly at his sheep as they grazed on the bright green hillside. But far away, in the shadow of a rocky cliff, something moved silently. Two sharp eyes gleamed. A hungry wolf was watching the flock. Sheppy froze. "Bah, David, I think something's there." The grass rustled again, and David saw the wolf step into the sunlight. David's heart beat fast. The wolf was big, and he was just a boy. But then he remembered what his father told him. Courage isn't about being strong. It's about trusting God. David knelt and whispered, "Lord, please help me protect my sheep." He reached into his pouch and found a smooth stone. With steady hands, he placed the stone into his sling. He swung it once, twice, then let it fly. The stone landed right beside the wolf with a sharp thud. Startled, the wolf jumped and ran off into the forest, never looking back. Sheppy bounced up and down. "Bah, you did it, David. You saved us." David smiled. "No, Sheppy. God helped me. He made my heart brave." Ollie fluttered down from the tree. "You faced danger with faith, young shepherd," he said kindly. David nodded. "I was afraid, but I trusted God, and he gave me courage." That evening, the sun turned the sky golden and pink. David gathered his sheep close, and sat by a smooth rock with his harp. He plucked the strings gently and began to sing, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not fear. His love will guide me. He's always near." Ollie listened, smiling. The hills echoed softly with David's voice. Even the sheep seemed to sway with the melody, their eyes slowly closing in peace. As stars filled the sky, David whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for helping me today." He lay down beside his flock, his heart calm and full of faith. From that night onward, the hills of Bethlehem whispered his name with pride. Everyone called him the brave shepherd, the boy who trusted God more than fear. God gives us courage when we do what's right. Psalm 27, Non fe, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear?"
Morning sunlight poured over the hills of Israel. Little David hurried from his sheep pen. His father Jesse had called him home with important news. "Take this basket of bread and cheese to your brothers," Jesse said. "They're with King Saul's army in the valley of Elah." David's eyes lit up. The battlefield? "I'll go quickly, father." He slung his harp on his back. He never traveled without it. On the road he sang softly, "The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him." Psalm 20, 8, 7. When David reached the camp, he saw soldiers whispering and shaking. Even the bravest men looked frightened. "Why is everyone so afraid?" David asked a guard. The man pointed toward the valley. "Look for yourself, boy. The giant Goliath of Gath challenges us every day." Across the valley stood a towering man in shining bronze armor. His spear looked as long as a tree branch. Goliath's voice thundered, "Choose a man to fight me. If he wins, we'll be your servants. But if I win, you'll serve us." David's heart pounded, not from fear but from sadness. "Why does no one trust the Lord to help?" he whispered. His eldest brother Eliab scolded him. "You are just a shepherd." But David answered quietly, "A shepherd learns courage when lions come near his flock. God, who saved me then, will save Israel now." Word reached King Saul about the bold shepherd boy. Saul called him into his tent. "You are only a child," said the king kindly. "You cannot fight this warrior." David bowed. "When a lion or bear took my sheep, I struck it down. The Lord delivered me each time. He will deliver me from this giant too." Saul looked at David's shining eyes and finally said, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." He placed his heavy armor on David, but the boy could hardly walk. David smiled. "I can't wear these. I'll trust God instead of armor." He chose 5 smooth stones from the brook and placed them in his pouch. As he walked toward the valley, the wind brushed his face like a gentle blessing. Goliath laughed when he saw him. "Am I a dog that you come to me with a sling?" David stood firm. "You come with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel." 1 Samuel 17:40. 5. The soldiers gasped, their hearts caught between fear and hope. David swung his sling once, twice, 3 times. Whoosh! The stone flew straight and true. Goliath stumbled, his armor clattering as he fell to the ground with a thunderous crash. The valley grew silent. Birds circled overhead as dust settled in the sunlight. David whispered, "The battle is the Lord's." 1 Samuel 17:40. 7. King Saul's men shouted in joy and ran forward. The giant's army fled in fear. But David didn't cheer. He knelt on the hillside and thanked God for victory without pride. Ollie the owl swooped down from the sky. "Hoo! Hoo! I told you! Faith makes small wings mighty!" David smiled. "Not my strength, Ollie. Only God's." That evening, the stars appeared above the quiet valley. David took out his harp. He sang, "When I am afraid, I will trust in you, O God." Psalm 56. 3. His song drifted across the fields to the tents of weary soldiers, wrapping their hearts in peace. From that day, Israel remembered that faith can defeat any fear. And little David knew in his heart that God had chosen him for even greater plans. He looked up at the stars and whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for making me brave once again." Morning rays glowed over Bethlehem. David hummed softly as his sheep grazed, the sound of his harp mingling with birdsong. He didn't know that today would change his life forever. Far away, God spoke to his prophet Samuel. "Go to Bethlehem. Among Jesse's sons, I have chosen a new king." Samuel was puzzled. A new king? But Saul still reigns. God replied, "Do not look at outward appearance. I see the heart." When Samuel arrived, Jesse proudly brought his eldest sons, strong, tall, and brave. But God whispered, "Not this one." One by one, Samuel shook his head. At last, Jesse said, "Only the youngest remains, David, who tends the sheep." When David entered, his eyes bright and humble, God's voice said, "Rise, anoint him, this is the one." Samuel poured oil upon David's head. The Spirit of the Lord filled him with peace and courage. David didn't tell anyone. He returned to his fields, playing his harp and singing to God. "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." Psalm 23. Soon King Saul began to feel restless and sad. "My heart feels dark," he said to his servants. A servant spoke up. "There is a young man in Bethlehem, a skillful harp player who sings of God's love." "Bring him to me," said the king. So David left his sheep with a trusted helper and traveled to Saul's palace. The halls were grand, filled with golden lamps and heavy curtains, but David felt calm, for God was with him. When he began to play, soft music filled the air. The king's heart grew lighter, and peace returned to his spirit. Saul smiled. "Stay here, young David. Your songs bring light into my soul." From then on, David served faithfully, sometimes playing, sometimes carrying the king's armor. At night, David would look at the stars from the palace roof and whisper, "I will praise you, O Lord, among the nations." Psalm 57:9. Ali, the owl, perched nearby. Who? A king who sings before he wears a crown. That's rare." David chuckled. "I am not a king, Ollie. I am still just a shepherd at heart." "Ah," said the owl. "That's exactly why God chose you." Time passed, and David's music became a blessing to all who heard it. He never boasted or forgot his sheep. He knew that the Lord's plans bloom in their own season. One afternoon, while playing his harp, he remembered Samuel's words and felt the oil scent still faint on his hair. He wondered when God's promise would come true, but he didn't rush. He trusted. "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him." Psalm 37:7. Even when Saul's temper flared again, David answered with gentle songs instead of anger. The more he sang, the more others saw that true strength comes from peace within. His music became a prayer, his harp a voice of hope. The palace grew brighter whenever David played. Servants whispered, "When this boy sings, even the walls seem to listen." And somewhere deep in David's heart, he heard God's quiet promise, "In my time, I will make you king." He smiled under the starlight. "Then I will keep singing until that day comes." With faith and patience, little David lifted his harp and played one last soft tune of gratitude.